CEO of Omni Intelligence and host of Tripwires and Triggers, Jaeson Jones. Jaeson, I know your company works to make the public and government agencies aware of the threats posed by unsecured borders. So I guess you have a lot to say about the situation there on the southern border. Go ahead.
Yeah, I really do. One of the things that I want to make sure everyone's aware is that every surge is different. And what we're seeing with this surge specifically is three main points, which is going to make this, and I'll say it right here. This is going to be the worst border crisis in American history. And the reason for it is because the world is coming this time. It's not just U.S., Mexico, folks from Central and South America. We're seeing things we've never seen before. Right now, CBP has apprehended in the last 8 months people from 148 countries. Now, on top of that, we've also got fentanyl. The cartels have doubled down on fentanyl, and fentanyl is coming into this country like never before. And then third and final, they've also transitioned from human smuggling to human trafficking. And as you know, the federal government has decided to now move these people throughout the country in an act of compassion, while maybe acting in good faith. What they don't realize is now they're spreading that virus of trafficking because the cartels have doubled down on it. So now we'll see this in every part of the country like never before. So we're really going through a unique time right now.
All right, Jaeson, I want to ask you a question, if I could, and I know this sounds very simplistic, but I want people to understand. What is the cartel? Who are these people?
Yeah, so the word cartel really means agreement. And what has happened over time is that it just means all these other things, but it's agreements between numerous criminal organizations that then arise en masse. And if you really look at the cartels that dominate in Mexico, it is those that have the leadership that are willing to work with anyone. And that's really the part of it. You know, I think it would surprise most of your viewers that Sinaloa cartel is in 54 countries around the world. Cartel Jalisco New Generation is in over 48. So they have really advanced by quantum leaps. And if you notice, I don't call them the drug cartels. I call them the Mexican cartels, because drug smuggling is one thing they do. Today, we see them in so many other forms, like human smuggling, trafficking, weapons trafficking, kidnapping. I mean, they're just about into every form of criminal underworld you can be involved in.
So are they organized crime, or are they more of a terrorist organization?
They've evolved. You know, in 2006, when the Mexican government, President Calderon, began using his military to go after them, that's when the insurgency really started. And they fought back against the Mexican government around 2009, when they began killing mass innocent families and migrants, you know, numbers of 50 plus at a time. That was really the transition into terrorism. And today we see them as a parallel government, truly working side by side with the highest levels of the Mexican government. And that's where we've got to designate them today as foreign terrorist organizations, because if we don't get the tools of national power to be able to limit their mobility globally, to be able to remove them rapidly from our country, and to go after their assets quickly, not using an investigative model, we're never going to get ahead of this thing. And years of trying to do the same thing that has proven that it doesn't work.
Okay, you may have just answered where I was going to ask you next. Why doesn't the Mexican government do something about this? We fight terrorism and this kind of thing all over the globe. Why doesn't the U.S. government do something about these guys?
I got to tell you, it's one of the things that's the most frustrating for me. I've been at this for 4.5 years, trying to get our government to do what needs to be done. And what I've really learned is that a lot of it has to do with data. The Uniform Crime Report under the FBI doesn't capture 21st century crimes. So all the crimes that you and I have talked about here aren't captured. It's really something. So that's part of the issue. But with what's happening right now, I'm really hopeful that the federal government's going to do what needs to be done.
Wow. Jaeson Jones, thank you so very much. I'd love to have you back on to talk more about this. Thank you for being with us today here on Victory. God bless you.